1.92 million tons of textile waste is produced every year. Textile production is responsible for 20% of clean water pollution. On average, Europeans discard 11 kilos of textiles per year. The fashion industry. It's massive, overwhelming, and sometimes feels impossible to change. So, how can we make a difference? Well, maybe the answer is simple. We can start with our own community.
Are you conscious of the amount of textile waste created at AMFI? At AMFI, yeah.
It's something that annoys us a lot.
Definitely.
I feel like there's probably more than we
know,
think.
Yeah, I think there is quite a big problem.
Yeah, there is
for sure. We never talk about what to do with the fabric that's left over, like at all.
While researching the textile waste issues of the fashion industry, we had an eye-opening realization. AMFI, our very own fashion school, has its own textile waste problem. As with any creative institution, we use a lot of materials, and with that comes an inevitable amount of waste. But here's the thing, how much waste is created here at AMFI? And more importantly, what happens to it? Turns out, no one really knew. Not the students, not the teachers. So, we set out to find the answer. What we discovered was more disheartening than we'd expected.
Okay, I'll tell you, but you can't tell other people. The trash gets incinerated. They don't want people knowing that because we're trying to stay sustainable.
Let that sink in. Students are essentially throwing away their money on fabric, only for their scraps to go up in smoke. And it's not their fault either. We also realized it's unrealistic to expect students not to create waste. Mistakes are a crucial part of the design process. But walking through the hallways and seeing the mountains of textile scraps piling up every week, we knew there had to be a better solution. After observing and speaking with other students, we identified the biggest culprit: calico fabric. Students use it for testing and prototypes, often making several versions of their designs before committing to their final fabric. This led us to a big question. What if we could transform this waste into something new? And that's where our journey began. We started experimenting with biomaterials, specifically combining different ingredients with shredded textile scraps. Our goal? To create a material with all the essential properties of calico: flexible, durable, sewable, and hopefully even biodegradable if combined with natural fibers. After many recipes and tests, and valuable student feedback, we found the perfect mix of agar-agar, glycerin, and water with shredded calico. Not only can this material be used as a calico substitute, but it has the possibility to also be recycled by melting it down and reforming for future use. But we didn't stop there. We wanted to share what we'd learned, so we created a cookbook, a step-by-step guide with all our recipes. Now, students can turn their own textile scraps into usable materials, closing the loop on waste right here at AMFI. Of course, we faced challenges along the way. For one, the biolab where we develop these materials isn't as accessible as we'd like. Due to limited funding, it's not open enough for students to fully take advantage of its resources. And while our material works beautifully with natural fibers like cotton, synthetic textiles are another story. Can we make those biodegradable too? Then there's the issue of scaling up. The process is time-consuming and requires specific ingredients. If we scaled production, would that just create new waste problems? Despite these hurdles, we see this as just the beginning. Biotechnology is advancing every day, and the possibilities are endless. Imagine a future where waste becomes a resource, a world where students design not just garments, but materials themselves. But this still left us wondering, what do AMFI students actually think of biomaterials?
Would you be open to the idea of creating an alternative solution for the recycled material? For example, mixing it with biomaterials? Yeah, I think that would be really, really nice.
I think it can contribute greatly to many changes in the world. It's just that more people need to be interested in it and then dare to, try and actually experiment with it.
Absolutely. It's the conscious way forward.
I can talk for design students for sure, because when you like to do stuff for example, just for the show or something like that, it's better to make like a biomaterial. Or when you do something crazy that you won't wear every day, just do it with biomaterial. You can like decompose it.
That would be great, but we would have to have the facilities to make it.
I think what we found through all the interviews with the students, there is a lot of interest in biomaterials and a lot of interest in creating this new solution that we've only scratched the surface of. So, what's next for us? Tackling accessibility, experimenting further, and inspiring more students to rethink waste. After all, every step counts.
We are doing actions today for the future.
Every big problem starts from something small. So every big solution can also start from something small.
Because I think if there's a piece of fabric, you can make something out of it.
We started small. Just one school, one project. But who knows? Maybe one day, we'll all be wearing clothes made entirely from our trash.
So what will you do with your scraps?